Howdy, my name is Ryan Redmond, and today our group will be discussing proposed designs for a grade separation at George Bush Drive and Wellborn Road in College Station, Texas. Our group members are Brendan Legault, Travis McIntosh, Alejandra Montez, and Alex Ramirez. We will be discussing three different designs today. The first will be given by Travis, and it is elevating both roadways over the railroad. The second given by Alex is just a single overpass over the railroad. And finally, the third given by Brendan will be elevating the railroad over George Bush Drive. This is an image of the existing site. As you can see, George Bush Drive runs east to west and Wellborn Road runs north to south and is parallel with the Union Pacific Railroad. On a regular weekday, this intersection can experience as much as 60,000 cars per day, and on special and university event days, it can experience as much as 120,000 cars. This adds to the extreme congestion that surrounds the intersection, as well as long queue times during peak traffic hours. This intersection also experiences as many as 20 trains per day, which also adds to the extreme congestion and long queue times. And with that, I hand it over to Travis to present our first design.
Thank you, Ryan. My name is Travis McIntosh, and I'll be talking about design number 1. I chose this design because of its very close proximity to our project location. It's around half a mile away. It also includes a lot of the same stakeholders, the main ones being Union Pacific Railroad, TxDOT, who owns Wellborn Road, and Texas A&M University. Another big benefit here is that the railroad and Wellborn Road would maintain around the same grade, which means it wouldn't need to be lowered or raised. This decreases the cost and lowers the complexity of the project. Another benefit is it's recently been completed in 2013. It was finished. So this information is still somewhat relevant. The downsides here are that there's still the problem with the railroad. If you're on Wellborn and you need to get on to George Bush, you're still going to be waiting at that intersection for the train to pass. So the problem hasn't fully been alleviated. This was the design. If you're on George Bush, you would be able to pass underneath the railroad, which is a benefit. But the chief problem with the intersection is the railroad crossing, and that hasn't been alleviated here. Another downside is also that adds much more cost. I'm estimating twice the cost and around 10 to 12 months more on the timeline. For design 2, I'm going to pass it off to Alex. Alex.
Hey, Travis. So my name is Alex Ramirez. I am currently a land development intern. But with that being said, I do have some background in structural engineering. One of the key factors that we looked to at this project was how can we, make the design as seamless as possible, less construction. Obviously, that's one of the biggest costs there. We drew inspiration from a project that was from Illinois, where they just elevated the main road. They had a similar problem where a train would pass 3 times a day and cause traffic backup congestion. So one of the key differences with our design is that we are using bridge spans, mainly because our roadway design will be a little bit longer, and it will actually eliminate the intersection between Wellborn and George Bush, allowing for seamless traffic in and out of Aggieland via George Bush. With that being said, there is a negative impact of losing the turn lanes. But then again, that's just, one of the other key factors that we have to take into account when considering, whether or not we should move along with this project. One of the other things as well is that what we notice is that the cost of this is significantly lower than the other two. Well, that being said, it is variable. It's a variable, and depending on what it is. And on to design number 3 with Brandon. Thank you.
Howdy, my name is Brendan Legault. I'm a 4th-year structural engineer at Texas A&M University, and I'm here to talk about design 3. Down here on the right is a proposed option having an overpass over the entirety of the intersection. The issues here would obviously be getting the grade on the train tracks high enough to get a 16-foot clearance over the intersection, but one of the major benefits would be the intersection being completely independent of the train. And we see a similar example at Irving Park Road in Illinois, where they actually have 2 train tracks, but they did this very efficiently, and it actually cleared up traffic quite a bit and worked. But I estimated that it would be $50 million, a little bit less, than Irving Park Road, just because Irving Park Road has 2 train tracks. And on top of that, I think it would take a little less time than Irving Park Road, just because of the locations. But again, I think the detour caused by the traffic would be the biggest issue. But that's all. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alejandra Mendoza. You just saw 3 designs from our team, and I just want to highlight some key things. So for the first design, the elevated portion is only going to be used for turning, while the underpass is going to be used for straightaways. This completely eliminates the impact that the train has on the intersection, which is great, and it's what we're looking for to maximize traffic flow. It does come at the cost of the project. This is the highest costing project out of the 3 of them. The overpass at the intersection, the second design, it completely eliminates the turning lane from Wellborn Road onto George Bush. This means that we can see people cutting through the residential areas to get to George Bush where they want to go. And that just poses a danger to any kids and anybody walking home, playing in the streets. And it's a lot of traffic for an area that's not meant for it. It's just putting too many people in danger when it's not needed. The third design, the elevation of the railroad, this is the longest lasting project just to get the grading properly done. And the location of the project, it's very condensed, so it'll be hard to get the grading done with the amount of space that we have. And the train poses a danger to anything below it, anybody walking through, any cars driving through. It's just a lot of danger for them. And so because of all these things, our team has actually recommended the first design. We believe that this one completely eliminates anything that the train imposes, and it'll be able to keep up with the population as it grows in the city and as students are accepted into the university. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or somebody on the team, and we'd be glad to answer. Thank you for listening.